Cesar was born on March 31st, 1927 in Yuma, Arizona, and died on April 22nd, 1923 in San Luis, Arizona. Cesar was a labor leader, farmer, the president of United Farm Workers of America, and a leading spokesperson for the rights of migrant workers. Through his leadership, he became recognized as one of the leading figures of the civil rights movement. Chavez dedicated his life to labor reform for the farm workers. He led a strike of migrant farm workers demanding higher wages and better working conditions.
The strike was part of the civil rights movement that addressed the needs of farm workers. It was a turning point in America's history. He envisioned equality and social change, not just for farm workers, but for all people. He would grow to become one of the most respected civil rights leaders of the 20th century. He registered voters, gave citizenship classes, and began to develop his vision for a struggle toward social change. In 1962, that vision for equality and social change manifested in the National Farm Workers Association. Along with the help of Dolores Huerta, it eventually became the United Farm Workers. He used this platform and his unparalleled leadership to expose to the American people the inhumane conditions and unfair wages that were imposed upon the farm workers. He fought for the farm workers' right to form their own union, which most other workers in the United States were privileged to have. He demanded that the workers have lunch breaks, access to clean drinking water and bathrooms, and that they receive fair wages and were able to collect unemployment insurance. When one worker was beaten to death, Chavez called off the strike. He, like his contemporary Martin Luther King Jr., remained steadfast in his decision to practice nonviolent protest. In 1968, Chavez fasted for a historic 25 days, bringing a national attention back to the movement and injecting much-needed hope and motivation into his supporters. Mass media coverage of his initial boycott of table grapes would increase the national awareness and add more pressure to the growers of the farms by humiliating them. Finally, after years of striking in 1970, the UFW won a victory for the labor movement as the growers accepted union contracts and guaranteed the workers higher wages and improved working conditions. Not only did he improve workers' rights, but rights for all people in the United States, forever changing the face of America. He also championed the preservation of the environment by fighting against the irresponsible use of pesticides.
Cesar Chavez's respect and recognition has continued to grow, especially after his death.
A year after his death in 1994, President Bill Clinton posthumously awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. His wife Helen was there to accept the honor.
Workers who labored in the fields and yearned for respect and self-sufficiency pinned their hopes on this remarkable man who, with faith and discipline, with soft-spoken humility and amazing inner strength, led a very courageous life.
In many places around the country, Cesar's legacy is honored. In schools, in parks, street names, and in libraries. Also, in some states, his birthday is a holiday. Chavez did not only lead the Delano grape strike, he did many other strikes, boycotts, and hunger strikes. For example, in 1968, Chavez fasted for 25 days, and in 1972 for 24 days. Also, in 1988, Cesar did a 36-day fast in Delano to dramatize his 5-year boycott against California grape growers.
For a union that we can belong as farm workers was going to be built by farm workers, and it's going to be for farm workers.
Cesar's memory invokes a powerful legacy. He is remembered for improving farm workers' condition, organizing the UFW, his nonviolence, and he is remembered in a parade every year.